Hey everyone, welcome to GardenFork. This is Charlie Pup. Today we're going to show you how to tap your sugar maple trees for maple sap, and then you boil it down and make
maple syrup.
Yeah. So you can do this on your own. I mean, I know you probably see a lot of commercial operations. They have all the buckets everywhere and everything. These are the kind of galvanized buckets they use. But these are hard to come by. And you can also use plastic taps. Oops. And plastic buckets. So that's what we're going to do in our yard, and I want to show you how to do that today. All right?
Let's go.
Let's go. First thing, make sure that you have sugar maple trees. Not all maple trees are sugar maples. And if you're thinking about doing this in the winter, you're like, oh, I can't look at the tree. Well, they're called leaves. So you get this book.
Bark. This
is a really good tree identification book based on bark. And it shows in here the trees in the Northeast, and it talks about sugar maples. So this is a really nice book. A couple things about maple trees. When you're tapping your sugar maples, you have to tap 12-inch diameter trees or larger, not the smaller ones. And you can tell if it's 12 inches in diameter measuring the circumference. 38 inches is roughly 12 inches in diameter. The 12-inch tree will get one tap. A tree that is 18 inches in diameter or larger, you can put 2 taps in.
How many is this one getting?
This has got 2 taps. This is a big tree. And tapping sugar maples, if you've done right and done conservatively, is kind of like you giving blood. You know, you can donate so much blood and yet you're fine because your body can rejuvenate.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
You're not going to die. So you're not going to kill the tree if you do it right, and you're not going to kill you if you donate blood right.
It's going to heal.
You should donate blood, by the way. I do that. Redcross.org, learn about that.
These are the taps?
They're called spiles. These ones are plastic. You can also get metal ones to go with the buckets, but we're going to be using tubing. So we're going to put these into the tree.
Where'd you get them?
Very gently. I got these online. If you type in your search engine, maple syrup supplies, there's a number of companies that sell these. They're really quite inexpensive. Couple of rules here. 5/16" bit, 1.5 inch into the tree. So I put a piece of tape here at the 1.5 inch depth mark here.
So no further.
No further. And when you're tapping a tree, you want to be 12 inches above or below an older tap and 6 inches from side to side from an older tap.
If it's been pre-tapped.
If it's been tapped before. And the trick here is to put these taps in, but not too far. Because if you put them in too far, you can split the wood and it takes a lot longer for the tree to heal up.
Rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate. All right. We're looking at the tree here. This is a really healthy tree. Don't tap trees that are ill, have a lot of limbs falling off. Let's try one right here. You want to go at a slightly upward angle. And look at that. There's sap coming out of there.
Action. So what's the temperature out today?
It's about 35 out. Tree sap run, maple sugar tree sap runs when the nights are in the 20s and when the days are in the 40s.
Perfect.
To collect the tree sap, I already have a homebrew kit, and these are food grade plastic buckets from my homebrewing kit. I'm not brewing right now, so they already have holes drilled in them to the top for an airlock with homebrew. You want to put this on a flat surface near the tree so it doesn't tilt over when it gets full. You want a non-toxic food grade plastic tubing, which you can buy, and then you just take them and you connect this. It takes a little bit of wiggling to get this on. So this goes in just like that. You don't want to go any farther. You can totally taste. It's a real hint of maple syrup in there.
But we're nowhere near the maple syrup stage, right?
No, we're not. We're in the collecting stage.
Somebody's curious.
Yes. So we're going to take this.
It's not going to be food grade anymore.
I'm going to put it in here. Okay, we're at a slightly upward angle. Here it all of a sudden makes a slightly different sound.
Yeah.
That's when you're in.
Hear that? This one looks different. What's going on here?
Two things here. I had this aha moment that I was looking around for buckets in the basement, and I had found some old water jugs that someone was throwing out. And so we can use water jugs for this as well as food grade, you know, home brewing buckets. And then I have this Y connector here to save on some tubing. And you could Y connector a bunch of trees together to a much larger collection container if you wanted. My neighbors have this giant stainless steel tank and a bunch of Y connectors. And then there's this cool thing.
What's that? This
I got from the homebrew store, but it's a nice cap for a water jug. So you just put this hose in here, and that seals out. It keeps bugs and stuff from going into your collection container. And you're all set.
Hi, Charlie Pup.
This is one that we tapped yesterday.
Yeah.
And I just want to show you a couple things. To secure it to the tree, I use some bungee cords because there's not a real flat surface here, so to keep the bucket from falling over.
Okay.
These hoses were the wrong size, by the way, but they're in. So, but in here we have a bunch of tree sap.
Wow, how full do you think that is?
That's about 3/4 of a gallon.
And we tapped that like at the end of the day yesterday, right?
And this is ice.
Ooh, look at that.
So this is water that's separating out of the tree sap. So
Do
this
you want that?
Yeah, you want. Well, your whole goal is to get water out of the sap. So if you have frozen nights, this freezes. You can come along and scoop all this out, and that's less water you have to boil out of the sap. Anyway, that's really cool. They are crazy. Down here at the bottom of our yard, we have our own evaporator. Mike, who built our house, also tapped the trees, and he made his own maple syrup, because you're kind of probably wondering, well, you collected all this maple tree sap, what do you do with it? You have to boil off the water to get the sugary syrup. And this is what they used, either a one like this or something a little fancier. In our other maple syrup videos, you've seen where we go to the sugar shacks and they have pretty fancy. This is pretty low tech, but it worked.
This is shack free.
This is shack free. But literally, you got a big tray, you have a lot of surface area, you boil the water, you boil off the water. This is the front of it, by the way. This would sit here, and you put the wood in here.
Oh, and so the fire's in the bottom.
Yeah, the fire's in the bottom.
All right.
Heats this, your sap is here, evaporates off. And then there's this fine line when there's just enough sugar content to the point where you could burn it. So we'll be learning about that, because we're going to make a video about how to boil your own sap as well. And by the way, this is the bark book that we really like, B-A-R-K. It's got a bunch of pictures of tree bark to identify your sugar maple.
It's really cool.
Oh, and there's a sugar maple right there. So, sugar maple.
Cool.
All right, more cool stuff on our site. We have 3 other videos about making maple syrup on the site, or on YouTube, or on iTunes as well. So if you're watching there, would you consider subscribing?
How about pancakes?
You can also make pancakes and have maple syrup too. We've done that video too. So cooking, DIY, beekeeping, gardening, all that fun stuff. Plus GardenFork Radio, our internet radio show. Me talking to interesting people. We're on Facebook, Google, Pinterest. We're everywhere. Any social media platform. So sign up for our email newsletter, news@gardenfork.tv. And I always like to hear from you guys. It's eric@gardenfork.tv. All right? So make it a great day. I'll see you.